Okay, so a while back I did my first impressions of the PlayStation 5. And one of my biggest criticisms was with the DualSense controller. Now, the DualSense has a lot of really cool features. It has haptic feedback, which, depending on how much time the developer puts into said game, is really awesome. It has the adaptive triggers, which I feel like I'm going to eventually break if I have it on the hardest setting, but even on medium setting, it's kind of interesting playing with those adaptive triggers. It has a speaker and a microphone, touchpad. It has a lot of stuff going on it, and my biggest criticism about this controller is the battery. The battery is such a joke. It is pathetically, laughably bad at how quickly this thing drains the battery inside. Honestly, I had to charge this every single day at the end of the day if I played the controller. If I didn't play that much, I could probably get 2 days out of it before having to charge it. I mean, this thing is an energy vampire. And honestly, I was hoping that Sony would have done a better job on the previous controller, because a lot of people complain about the PlayStation 4 being an energy vampire when it came to its battery. But this thing makes the PlayStation 4 look modest in comparison. I was able to get 4, sometimes 5 days out of my PS4 controller without having to charge it. This, 1 to 2 days. 2 days is being generous. It's typically just 1 day I can enjoy playing a game with this controller. And even then, that's a PlayStation 4 game. PS5 game with all the bells and whistles going off, forget it. This thing needs to be charged twice a day. That is, however, until I came across this. This is called the X battery extension. And this seemed like a deal too good to be true. The actual item looks simply as follows. It looks like this. It's just a little piece of plastic, and I thought, okay, this is too good to be true. I found this at Five Below. I've seen it at GameStops and other places for more money, but at Five Below it was $5. Alright, I thought, okay, so this supposedly enhances the battery life. It's $5. The design fits in pretty well with the PlayStation 5. You just hook it in as such, and you're good to go. And I'm thinking, okay, what's the catch? Surprisingly, there is no catch. This product has fixed one of the major problems with the PlayStation 5, and that was the terrible battery life. Now, this product kind of doesn't act like a bigger battery, it acts like a charging unit. So, they say in the instructions, don't charge this battery while it's hooked into the PS5 DualSense. That makes sense. But when the DualSense is playing, this battery charges the DualSense. So essentially the DualSense kind of thinks like it's plugged into a power source, when in reality it just has this battery pack on. And the battery pack will charge the DualSense as it's playing so that the DualSense doesn't lose any of its battery power. And once the battery pack add-on is out, the light will start blinking, letting you know it's low, and then it'll just turn off. And then you're running on the battery of your DualSense. So instead of your DualSense feeling like it has to be charged every day, you can now get 2 to 3, sometimes 4 days out of your gaming pad without having to charge it. All thanks to this little buddy. And the neat thing about this one is it's still, you can charge this with a micro USB charging cable connector. That was one of the things I didn't like about the PlayStation 5, is it's really pushing the USB-C port, which a lot of people absolutely love that port. But for people who are still running Android, who still have 100 cords in their house that all run off of USB micro, it's kind of obnoxious having to switch to USB-C now. And, you know, I have always charged this through the console because that was the only thing that kind of had a USB-C cord. And so now I can actually charge this through that little battery that extends its life cycle twofold, and I can charge that little battery with the charging cord that I have. Some people may see that as being redundant. I think it's a great deal because I now don't have to worry about charging my games pad as much, and that is worth $5 right there. I would say this little battery pack is worth $20, but I got this at Five Below for $5. So for $5, absolutely get this. This thing has been amazing. I haven't had to worry about if my games pad is going to survive the gaming session when I sit down anymore, because I have this little guy to lay back on. And so there is one thing I will say that I did. You may choose against this, but this little battery pack has a section on it that has a sticker you remove, and you remove it and you stick it on, and it apparently sticks to the back of the gamepad to keep it more firmly in place. Now, I was kind of examining this adhesive, and it struck me as the type of adhesive that once it sticks to something, it's impossible to remove. Now, keep in mind, the instructions said don't charge this while it's hooked into the gamepad, so there's kind of a problem there, because once you hook this in with that adhesive exposed, I don't think you're going to be able to get it off. Now, I haven't tried this. Someone might actually have this and say you can get off just fine. But what I do is I literally just hook this in as so without using the adhesive, and I will literally just place my two middle fingers on the back of it as I play. I usually don't use my middle fingers with the shoulder trigger buttons anyway. I usually just use my index finger. Sometimes I will use both, but I just keep the other ring finger on the back of the battery. It feels a little odd for like the first 2 hours, but once you've done like one gaming session with it, it feels natural just to hold your ring fingers on the back of this battery pack to keep it secured in place. You can still play with it without it being secured, and it's still pretty snug in the controller, so it's not like you have to do that, but I just like to do that just as peace of mind as such. And so, but all in all, this battery pack is worth the $5. I would even say this battery pack is worth $20 that I've seen it go for. But if you have a Five Below near you, you can absolutely get this battery pack for $5, and it is so worth it if you have a PS5. I understand a lot of people don't have PS5s. I'm sorry, I feel bad for you. Don't lose hope. You'll get one eventually. So, that being said, that's been my review of the X Battery Extension Pack at Five Below. Terrible name. And that's been my review of this item. Do the thing, do the thing. And my name is Christopher Connor, and this has been a review of 11th Hour Reviews, and that will be all.